for those sifting through the archives for newsreel and documentary gems for a portrait of the Highlands on film.
That's Upper Glandessery Shieling there, isn't it?
Yes.
But how on earth do you pronounce that thing there?
Skurkush na Brech Moog.
There's nothing that encapsulates Scotland's pride in its history and traditions quite like the Highland Games.
It's quite amazing the people you find wandering around the top of Ben Nevis at any hour of any day.
The grand that stops in Scotland.
You're listening. Loch Ness. The monster.
I would like to see more people come to the Highlands for the holidays to appreciate the beauty that we live in all the year round.
The Highlands, uninhabitable. Anyone who doesn't have to live here is lucky. That's what I was taught, and in a Scottish school too, but it's a lie. Mind you, if you select your evidence like these rocks, the oldest in the world and the hardest, you can make out a case. You wouldn't last long here on the scarred slopes of chilled volcanoes with the eagles and wild cats for company.
And what more glorious setting than the wild and solemn grandeur of the Highlands of Scotland, the country of wooded valleys and hills and lovely mountain lochs. It's here that nature rules in all her majesty.
Over the Highlands, it's the same story. The eternal whiteness covers all. Scotland in the grip of winter. Thomas Cook began to organise tourist trips to Scotland in the mid-1800s, and by the 20th century, a winter tourist boom was born.
Winter sports enthusiasts now flock to Scotland, and if skiing or tobogganing isn't in their line, they can always enjoy something particularly Scottish in flavour, curling. Brushing or souping the ice to allow the stone to slide more easily is an integral part of the game, and an expert souper is a definite asset to any rink being the playing area and the members of the side. The object of the game, like bowls, is to slide your stone as near as possible to the tee at the other end of the rink. A word of advice, though. If you're in Scotland, don't liken the game to bowls, a mere Sassenach imitation.
This morning, for the first time ever, we managed to get live pictures from the top of Ben Nevis. And I think we can probably go over there now because Ian McNaught Davis is in the Arctic conditions up there on the summit. Matt, can you hear me?
Well, if you've often wondered what the summit of Ben Nevis looks like in the middle of winter, this is it. A howling wind, thick mist, howling snow, and altogether unpleasant. It almost makes Scott's last camp in the Antarctic look like home.
If you're young enough to feel the exhilaration of winging down snowy slopes, then start from the Cairngorm peak of Scotland's Grampian Mountains and ski to your heart's content. The chairlift has been designed to carry 500 people an hour in double-seated chairs. Quite a feat when you consider that in 1947, only one hotelier in the area was prepared to accommodate skiers. The rest laughed at the idea of Scotland becoming a centre for winter sport. So now in Scotland, where winter once meant hardship, sportsmen can easily ascend to the level of their Swiss counterparts. And if perhaps there isn't quite the appeal that is associated with Switzerland, you at least don't have to yodel for a nice fat glass of Highland whiskey at the end of the day.
It's an Alpine-style school at Glencoe for training Alsatians in mountain and moorland rescue. It combines avalanche rescue techniques with methods pioneered by the Red Cross during the war, when dogs were used to locate the wounded on a battlefield. Until recently, only the RAF could provide fully trained rescue units. Now civilians are being trained to form voluntary teams, and these dogs will provide invaluable support.
Is it grand that this stuff's made in Scotland? Aye, but that's gay true.
Yes, Scotch whisky is the true product of Scotland. If your steps should take you into the Speyside district of the Highlands, you will come across distillery after distillery in which the first stages of turning barley into whisky are performed. Now here's the place for the connoisseur, the warehouse. Hundreds of casks stacked and billowing. A tap on the cask tells the expert here whether it's still sound or not. That is the reason for the tapping, to make sure the casks are sound.
Not my good stuff.
The secret is in the water, and there's plenty of it about in Scotland. Little springs that become clear, clean streams, darting and flickering over the granite until they reach the dark feet of the moors.
To guard it, they use geese, not dogs, though from the gait of them, it seems they might well have had a tot or two before coming on duty. Dewar's biggest advertising hit was this. What you're watching is a priceless cinematic artifact, the first ever movie commercial to be screened. It was shot in 1898 at enormous expense.
Watch the methods of the experienced old blender who carries out the test in his sample room. Believe it or not, it knows as does it.
Thank you, Maureen. That's absolutely wonderful.
There are a few articles in this civilized existence which stand out as perfect examples of their kind.
And Scotch whisky is one of them.
My heart's in the Highlands, my heart is not here. My heart's in the Highlands, a-hunting the deer. And hunting the deer is one of the few energetic occupations open to a gentleman in the Highlands. But the gentlemen are decidedly not Highlanders. Queen Victoria started it when she bought Balmoral and set up as a laird. If the wee German lady could be a laird, what was to stop a Glasgow bottle maker or a soap merchant from Lancashire? The Highlands had become fashionable. Fine new hunting lodges filled with hairless white knees and public school accents.
This stalker, an atelier from Glasgow, has paid £150 for a day's shooting on this deer farm.
The whole secret in deer stalking is that you're out to deceive the deer so that you can get close enough to them to get a shot which is sure, or as reasonably sure as you can get it, to kill them without them having any suspicion that there's a human being anywhere near them. You must always come with the wind blowing towards you away from the deer, because otherwise the deer will scent you up to a good mile on the hill, and as soon as they scent you, that's it, they're up and away.
Oh, it's good enough.
Ground can be quite difficult. Flat ground, you've got to go very often in your belly, and that's it. You crawl across a big wet flat, you use a drain or a burn if it's available. Somebody once called it a sort of assassination. The deer is dead and that's it. So there is really no stress in deer stalking. Even the sound of a shot to the other deer, it's just a loud noise.
Congratulations, well done.
Good morning, John.
Morning, Joey.
Oh, yeah, nice
Sorry,
to
well,
see
I
you.
didn't myself.
But this is some spectacle here. How many beasts are here?
There's exactly 100 stag's heads here. That's
What-
a season scout.
That's a season.
That's
Just
a
one season. Is there any one here that you would call a really good head?
Not really, because we don't really, the safe policy is that we don't really shoot any good heads at all.
Oh, I see.
No, we leave the good heads to breed with the hinds, and once they get old, that's the time when we shoot them.
Uh-huh.
We try and shoot the weak ones, the old ones, and the poor ones, like I've got in the fence here.
I see. This one here, this is, that's what they call an imperial, isn't it? That's 14 points.
That's right.
I would have taken that for a good head.
Well, you see, this head here is what we would call a very ugly head, a very goat-like head, a very
Uh-huh.
upright head,
Yeah.
and very, very narrow. This is the type of stag that we're trying to preserve and leave on the hill, some with some beauty of them. So that's exactly the reason for shooting that stag. Yeah.
And that's the reason he was allowed to get so old.
Absolutely, yeah, that's it. Absolutely.